Keeping on the theme of popular New Year's resolutions, well, a lot of people are going to be giving up sugar, trying to eat a better diet in 2022. You just need to know that, yeah, okay, and this is probably something in your head that's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to need some sugar because when I go into withdrawals, they're going to be bad. Some people, just like the coof that's out there, okay, they get hit harder than others. So how do you mitigate those things? Well, let's take a look. Why some people experience side effects when they quit the sugar. Might surprise you to learn that sugar consumption has actually been steadily decreasing since 2008. This could be happening for a number of reasons, including a shift in tastes and lifestyles, the popularity of the low carbohydrate diets like keto. I highly recommend. Increasing in the past decade, a greater understanding of the dangers of eating excess sugar on our health has also been driving this drop. Reducing sugar intake has clear health benefits, including reduced calorie intake, which can help with weight loss and improved dental health. Indeed. Sugar decays teeth, more at 11. But sometimes people report side effects when they try eating less sugar, including headaches, fatigues, and mood changes. But they'd probably complain about a change in the wind as well. But are usually temporary. Yeah, you just start being less reliant on the poison in your diet, and imagine that. Now, for these reasons, the side effect is poorly understood. But it's likely these symptoms relate to how the brain reacts when exposed to sugary foods. The biology of reward. Carbohydrates come in several forms, including sugars, which can naturally occur in many foods, such as fructose in fruits and lactose in milk. Yeah, right. Table sugar, known as sucrose, is found in sugar cane and sugar beet, maple syrup, and even honey. Yeah, you'll have a lot of brainlets that are out there saying, oh, honey is the better form of sweetener. It's a natural sweetener. Yeah, so are fruits. And fructose, the sugar that's in fruits, can only be, and like for the 90th time on this channel, fructose can only be processed by the liver, and in excess of that just immediately gets stored in, on, or around the liver, creating a fatty liver, and you can be a relatively healthy individual, but if you have a fatty liver, you're doing damage to that liver. Liver. Mass production of food has become the norm. Sucrose and other sugars are now added to food to make them more palatable. Beyond the improved taste and mouthfeel. The foods with high sugar content, sugar has profound biological effects on the brain. These effects are so significant, it's even led to a debate as to whether you can be addicted to sugar, though this is still being studied. But the theory is also aided by the people who go into sugar withdrawals and experience those side effects that we mentioned earlier. Sucrose activates the sweet taste receptors in the mouth, which ultimately lead to the release of a chemical called dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, meaning it is a chemical that passes messages between the nerves and the brain. When we are exposed to a rewarding stimulant, the brain responds by releasing dopamine, which is why it is often called the reward chemical. The rewarding effects of dopamine are largely seen in part by the brain involved in the pleasure and reward. Reward governs our behavior, meaning it is driven to repeat the behaviors which cause dopamine to be released in the first place. Dopamine can drive us to seek food, such as junk food. Experiments in both animals and people have been shown how profoundly sugar activates those reward pathways. Intense sweetness surpasses even cocaine in terms of internal reward it triggers. Increasingly, sugar is able to activate these reward pathways in the brain. It's tasted in the mouth or injected into the bloodstream. I haven't heard of anybody mainlining sugar yet, but that could be the new hit drug of 2022. You never know. As shown in studies on mice, this means the effects are independent of the sweet taste. In rats, there's strong evidence that suggests that sucrose consumption can automatically change the structures of the brain that dopamine activates, as well as altering emotional processing and modifying behavior in both animals and humans. So, what about quitting sugar? What is a venture many people will be taking on in the very near future? It's obvious that sugar can have powerful effects on us, so that's why it's surprising to see the negative effects as we eat less sugar to remove it from our diet completely. It's during the early sugar withdrawal stage that the mental and physical symptoms can be reported, including depression, anxiety, brain fog, and cravings, alongside headaches, fatigue, and dizziness. It means that giving up sugar can feel unpleasant both mentally and physically. I don't think anybody will be jonesing outside saying, hey, Hey, got a spare pixie stick? I'm really jonesing out here. But which may make it difficult for some to stick with the diet change. The basis of these symptoms is not extensively studied. It's likely that it's also linked to the reward pathway in the brain. Although the idea of sugar addiction is controversial, evidence shows in rats and other addictive substances, sugar is able to induce binging, craving, and withdrawal anxiety, with which in animals has demonstrated that the effects of sugar addiction, withdrawal, and relapse are similar to those drugs, but most of the research exists in the area is on animals, and it's currently difficult whether to say it is the same in humans. Most animal studies, most rat and rodent studies are very, very translatable to human studies as well, with the big notable exception of caffeine. And the way that caffeine hits your body and the way that sugar hits your body is very similar. So yeah, that skepticism is fairly well founded. Change in the brain's chemical balance is almost certainly behind the symptoms reported in the humans who remove or reduce a dietary sugar, as well as being involved in reward. Dopamine also regulates hormonal control, nauseating and vomiting, and anxiety. As sugar is removed from the diet, the rapid reduction of dopamine affects the brain would likely interfere with the normal function of many different brain pathways, explaining why people report these symptoms. Although research on sugar withdrawal in humans is limited. One study has provided evidence of withdrawal symptoms and increased sugar cravings, and sugar was removed from the diets of overweight and obese adolescents. Oh, fat kids. Oh man, why you gotta remind me of my youth. As with the dietary change, sticking to it is key. So you don't want to be, going into those withdrawal symptoms and then, going away for a little while and then binging back and then going through the withdrawal again, because then the likelihood of you giving it up for good is very slim. So if you want to reduce sugar from your diet in the long term, be able to get through those first few difficult weeks is crucial. Sometimes it doesn't even last that long, okay? It's just a very, very brief, okay? So you can just, quit cold turkey, okay? But if you just want to wean off, that might help your symptoms. If you're one of those weaklings that's out there that experiences exceptionally high side effects, do consider just, tapering off a little bit. That might help you as well. It is important to acknowledge, however, that sugar isn't bad per se. There's no benefits to it, honestly, and that it should be eaten in moderation alongside a healthy diet and exercise. Yeah, there's just no benefits to it. There's nothing that it can't do to the body that can't be done by a better, healthier source. It's mostly just poison, okay? Oh, it makes things taste good. I'm sure that's what many prostitutes tell themselves to get through the day. But anyways, guys, with that said, like I said, this week we're going to be trying to keep things a little bit short, mostly because I want to keep this computer at least functional. So for the rest of the week, I don't really know what it's going to be looking like, but do anticipate things that are just a little bit on the shorter side. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.